This video is coming a little bit late. The game was on Saturday, but today is Monday if everything goes according to plan. Yeah, I'm going on a trip, so I have to pre-record some videos. But in this commentary, what I wanted to do was maybe right some wrongs a little bit. Because today, we are talking about a guy who, after triumphing the labels of being a bust, after being tossed out of the wrecker and getting called over and over again a disappointment by other NHL fans, including myself. I'm not saying that one game changes everything, but one game can be the start of an overall perceptive change. You know, everybody sees the guy differently. Oh, wait a minute, this guy actually can do that. Today we're going over to Broadway and talking about the Big Apple's very own Alexis Lafreniere. Because just a few weeks ago, I made myself a YouTube video on this channel saying, hey, I can't believe I'm saying this, but Lucas Raymond is actually better. He's so good, and he's this, and he's that, and of course, you know, I'm playing it up for the audience. You know, I'm a Red Wings fan. They're my third favorite team, and of course, I love talking about Ranger stuff too, because the Rangers have a really good fan base, and y'all are always interacting, and it's a great time. But I was kind of playing it up a little bit, saying, yeah, I mean, if you asked me who would I rather take on my team today, Raymond versus Lafreniere, you could make an argument for Raymond, and I don't think a lot of people would disagree necessarily. But when it comes to Alexi, this is where things get crazy. Because not only has this season been a true coming out party for the former first overall pick taken in the 2020 draft, but on Saturday we had ourselves what may be considered the best game of his hockey playing career. I mean, he's probably had a few games that had more points than this, but not at the NHL level. Because as the New York Rangers defeated the Arizona Coyotes 8-5 on a night where the biggest story was honestly not even this guy. It was the fact that Jonathan Quick set the record for the most wins by a US-born goaltender. He had 392. Not all yesterday. Yesterday was just a 392nd win. That was the biggest story. Jonathan Quick has cemented himself in NHL history. But 8-5, the final score. Alexis Lafreniere. He scored himself the first goal of the game, and it was an absolute beauty of a goal. Oh my gosh! We haven't seen Lafreniere score goals like this since he was in the QMJHL. He came in down the left side, he's at a really awkward angle, and instead of chucking the puck out in front for the cross crease, Lafreniere just does what Lafreniere knows how to do. He's got his head looking towards the teammate Trocheck, I believe, the entire way. He dekes one way out to the outside and then just fires it over the far side shoulder of the goalie Vejmelka. What a beautiful shot. This is the kind of goal that you're not going to score unless you're confident. You're not going to go far side blocker side as a left-handed shot shooting on the left unless you have that resistance, you know? You're like, yeah, I got it. This is it. I'm the man. I'm going to put this in the back of the net. And a lot of that confidence is what's held Alexis Lafreniere back from taking opportunities like this throughout the years. He scores himself the crazy good goal, gets the Rangers off to the right foot. Okay, great. Lafreniere then gets an assist on the 2-0 Ryan Lindgren goal. Matias Maccelli responds. He's got 14 goals on the year. By the way, did I mention Matias Maccelli has 14 freaking goals on the year? How great is that for the young player? But almost immediately after Maccelli makes it 2-1, it's Alexis Lafreniere who responds and makes it 3-1 with a really nice goal. He dangles his way to the front of the goal, and he goes on the backhand right by the goaltender once more. So another one of these plays where Alexis Lafreniere takes over and he says, hey, I'm the man. I'm the guy. I'm going to put this puck in the back of the net. I have that activation power. I'm going to do it. And he does it, and he gets the goal. Third point on the night for Alexis Lafreniere, and that's not even it, because in the third period, making it 5-3 New York, it was Zach Jones, assisted by Alexis Lafreniere and Artemi Panarin, and then you had yourselves the Alexis Lafreniere empty net goal to make it 8-5. Lafreniere gets his first NHL hat trick, and he has 5 points. What a crazy showcase! And now if you take a look at his point production, Alexis Lafreniere has 52 points in 74 games, on pace for about 58 in an 82-game campaign. A huge step up. That's almost 20 more points than what he had last season with 16 goals and 23 assists for 39 points in 81 games. Sure, Lafreniere still hasn't broken out, quote-unquote, in the same way that Jack Hughes has. Jack Hughes was the first overall pick taken the year before Lafreniere. Hughes has had multiple 100-point pace seasons and one 99-point season, that in which he accomplished last year. He just hasn't had the games played yet to fully get up to 100 points in a season. But for Laf, the way he's been progressing, even from just like 3 months ago up until now, this is the point where Lafreniere has really started to get it, and he's understanding what it takes to be an NHL player and use those skills that he has to his advantage, because he always had the skills. It's what made him a highly touted prospect in the QMJHL in the first place. Sure, he was never the fastest guy. That was like the only knock against Lafreniere, was that the pace that some of these other first overall picks play with, the Jack Hugheses, the McDavids, the McKinnons, they can just go down the ice. Lafreniere can't really do that, but in his draft-eligible season, we've been saying this a ton, he didn't need to do that, because the way he played was so smart, cerebral. He would control the puck and just know exactly what it was he needed to do. And if he needed to dangle by a guy, if he needed to take a shot, he could do that and he could get it on goal. He could score some goals. He could make some great passes. He can read the game extraordinarily well. He was so smart that he didn't need to go and dominate play with his pace in the same way that a Jack Hughes or a McDavid can. So that was like the biggest difference between Alexis Lafreniere and some of these other first overall picks that were taken before him. So heading into the National Hockey League, where all of a sudden, hey, you're getting punished when your foot speed is not up to snuff. When you have built this profile where your game mostly revolves around your puck skills and your isolated puck control, that's going to work in junior, but it's going to have a really tough time translating to the National Hockey League. So for Lafreniere to eventually grow to this point where now he's starting to skate a little bit more, he's rushing to the front of the net. The 2 goals that he scored that weren't empty net goals, on the rush, fast-paced goals. Okay, the backhander wasn't really on the rush, they had possession, but Lafreniere got the pass in front and dangled his way to the front of the net. That's using his mobility, that's forcing himself into areas that are more dangerous. And he's been doing that. If you give this guy top power play time, I honestly think there's a possibility that Lafreniere could become a 70 or 80 point player as soon as next year. If you just give him that opportunity and play him with a stacked unit like what you got in New York, Panarin, Zibanejad, Fox, and everybody else, give Lafreniere that opportunity next season and take a look at what you can do. Because he hasn't been playing there this season, he's been mostly on the second unit. Actually on the point, I'm pretty sure. But ultimately, for Lafreniere, this has been such an extended amount of growth that I think, for the first time in a few years, I feel like I was wrong about this guy. And that's not to say, oh, I was eternally dooming him from the very beginning and I thought he would never become a good NHL player or anything. No, that's not the case here. I mean, if you watch some of the other videos we made about Lafreniere, like a lot of them say the same thing. He's going to be good. You just got to give him time. It's going to take a while because the way he has progressed in the QMJHL didn't really set him up with the best tendencies to equip in NHL hockey. So the fact that he's now starting to outgrow these tendencies, it's a very good thing. And a lot of New York Rangers fans are going to flock around in the comment section of this video and tell me that I took the L, and yeah, that's 100% justified. Go ahead and give me my dues in the comments section because your guy is doing great, and I think I'm starting to be proven wrong. Again, not that a 5-point game, one singular game, is going to change my entire perception about a guy, but it can be the final switch. It can be the first step. It can be either the means to an end of this entire narrative or the start of what is a really special trajectory in the career of Alexis Lafreniere. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you're a New York Rangers fan, what are your opinions about the 5-point game from Saturday? What are your thoughts on the narrative of the game that nobody else is really talking about in Lafreniere? Everybody's talking about Jonathan Quick, but what are your thoughts about Laf and his overall point production? What are your opinions about the way that he has progressed this season? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.